going on, y'all? Another random topic video. Call it "The Day I Almost Lost My Niece." This one I'm not too proud of. This is not one of my finer moments. Got caught slipping in a sense, and could have been disastrous. It started off where I believe my sister went to I don't know. She went somewhere. But she said, my niece is downstairs sleeping. I'm taking the other niece. They went out to wherever they went. So, I went downstairs, checked on her. She was still sleeping. So I go back upstairs. I'm in my room. I don't remember what I was doing. I might have been playing music or playing video games and ended up getting distracted. So I'm up there forgot to, continuously check on her. When you're dealing with kids, my niece, she's 4 right now. This probably happened a while back, maybe even like a year ago. So she probably was like 3 at the time. So, kids that young, you watching them, you gotta periodically check on them. Every few minutes, go down, make sure you hear some noise, But I got caught up in whatever I was doing in my room, and I didn't do that. Eventually, I kind of get like this sixth sense. So something went right. I was like, yo, what's going on with my niece? And I was about to go check on her, but at first, something made me go look to the window. And when I look to the window, I see my niece outside. I'm like, what the fuck? So I go running downstairs. It's like 2 people. She's right at the door, and I'm like, oh, what the heck's going on? The door's wide open. I go, and there's like 2 people. There's a man and a woman. The first thing they ask me is like, is this your daughter? First, I'm like, no. And before I even could say anything else, they're about to grab her. I'm like, oh, what the hell are you doing? This is my niece. And they're like, oh, well, she was outside. She had pretty much been running up and down the street, crying, going crazy. I'm just like, what? I just checked on her a little while ago. I thought she was still sleeping. And they're like, yeah, no, she was outside, And one of the ladies, it was, like I said, it was a man and a woman. The woman said she worked for DCYF. So I'm like, now I'm even more confused. I'm like, damn, this nigga called DCYF that damn fast? Like, how long was she out there? And, my niece she's like panicked at this time. She don't know what's going on. She's very frantic. She had ran back in the house. Once the lady tried to grab her, she didn't know what the hell was going on. So she ran back in the house. And she's over there, and they're like, you need to really be careful. Where's her mom? And I'm like, she's out of the house right now. I was watching her, and it was like, well, clearly you weren't. It was just a crazy moment for me, because I'm like, I was damn near always criticizing my sister for being irresponsible with her kids. And then now, who knows what could have happened? When they told me she was running up and down the street, I'm like, anything could have happened. She could have got kidnapped. She could have got hit by a car. The stray dog could have bit her. Like, anything could have happened. Like, that shit really freaked me out. The fucked up thing about it, I'm like, yo, how do I even know this lady really works for DCYF? I work at the group home. We deal with DCYF. They might have been a couple trying to steal the, what I'm saying? Because it was like right outside. I didn't know who this old guy was. I didn't know, I don't know if he was like one of my neighbors or whatever. You know how people these days, neighbors don't really speak to each other no more. So I ain't never seen this dude in my life. But I think it was DCYF, because once they left lecturing me for a little bit, which I deserve, a cop came and he was just like, hey, is a little girl, she was outside in the street, what's going on? So I think, I do believe that the woman was DCYF, the man was a neighbor or something like that. They was just trying to help. But me once they told me she was up and down the street, I started going crazy. So now my mind is like, man, I don't know who these people are. And, anyway, the cop just came. He was like, hey, I just wanted to make sure that the little girl was okay. Everything was good. And I was like, yeah, I was upstairs. She was taking a nap, didn't even realize she woke up. She must have not realized anybody was there. She didn't see anybody, panicked and just ran outside. She's prone to do that. That was the first time she did it, but she ended up doing that shit a couple more times. She just go and open the door and just start wandering outside. And, that shit freaked me out, man. When I think of all the stuff that could have happened, man, like, imagine I'm walking downstairs. I go to check on her later on. She's not there. Walk downstairs. The front door's open and nobody's there. I can't find her. What the hell am I gonna tell my sister? What am I gonna tell my mom? Like, my mom, you know what I'm saying? Mom probably would have threw me out the house or some shit. So anyway, my niece, she kind of just, she's still in like a little bit of a panic state. So I kind of tell her, just go lie down, calm down a little bit. So she ended up taking another nap, and man, I really just dodged a bullet that day. And from that point on, anytime I was asked to watch my nieces, I'd be sitting on the stairs right wherever they was at. I'm sitting right next to them, just to make sure. So for all y'all out there, maybe you think, well, I'm gonna just leave my kids here real quick, run to the store, or I'm gonna leave them in the car, or leave them anywhere. Don't do it. Or I'm gonna go to work overnight and they're gonna be sleeping. They're not gonna wake up. Please heed my warning. You never know what could happen. Your kid could wake up in the middle of the night and go looking for you, and you might never see him again. I hate to say that, but we really gotta be vigilant and pay close attention. There's a lot of weirdos out here. There's a lot of, luckily there was some good people out there that helped me in that situation. And I guess my niece just kind of ran back to the house, but they was thoughtful enough to call the police and make sure that they followed up and that everything was cool. And you can't keep your eyes off your kid for a second, man. Even when you in the house, they might sneak off into the other room. You might be in the living room, and they'll sneak off into the kitchen, start messing with the knives or something like that. So you just gotta be vigilant. You gotta watch them everywhere they at. Every few minutes, you gotta keep your ears open and make sure you know where they're at all times. Make sure they're not doing nothing dangerous. It's crazy. It's tough. I'm not even a parent. I'm just an uncle. I had to watch her for a couple hours or something like that, and almost lost her. You may not have a kid like my niece who wanders outside, but you never know what they could get into. They might get into the pantry or something not even the pantry. They might get into the bathroom chemicals and start drinking them. Kids, they'll put anything into their mouth. Literally anything can happen. I truly feel for the parents out there. It's not an easy job. It's the most important job, definitely more important than any career that we could possibly have. Because if we're not raising our kids, we're not watching our kids, that's the end of the human race. Being a parent is definitely the most important job out there. And I salute all the people out there doing a great job. I just ask everybody to be more vigilant. Even if you're babysitting, if you keep your eyes on them. You know what I mean? At all times, know where they are. Keep your ear out for them. Make sure you hear some type of, kids play, they be playing with their dolls, playing with their toys, watching television. Just pop your head in there real quick. Make sure they're still in there and doing what they're supposed to be doing, because literally anything can happen. You don't want to have any kind of family tragedy because you was caught up in the adult world and you wasn't being vigilant enough with your child or your niece or your nephews or grandchildren, or if you just babysitting, friend of the family, whatever. Anyway, I ain't got too much more to say about that. I just thank God that nothing happened. My niece is still here with us today, and I'm definitely not. It's very tempting to say, man, I'm just leave him here real quick or go do this real quick, and in a blink of an eye, something could happen. So there is no real quick when it comes to kids, especially that young. And the kids nowadays, they don't seem to be maturing as fast a rate as they used to. I think kids are maturing at me myself, I didn't mature till around only a few years ago. I say about 25. I feel like I was literally a kid for 25 years, and now I'm at 28. I feel like I'm like a teenager now. That's how I feel. My whole all the way up to 25, my room was just blank, and now my room's just full of posters, the same way a teenager would be. And so now I think we got to keep an extra eye on them now, because the kids these days, they don't have a lot of street smart. I couldn't have imagined at that age just running outside and just, even if I didn't see anybody, I'm like, hey, I'm still in my house, so they're gonna come back eventually. But my niece, she just ran outside and just started doing, But again, that's my fault. I should have been paying closer attention to her. And now I'm freaking paranoid about leaving them anywhere. There's a point where I wouldn't even leave the house unless I made sure that my sister or my mom or somebody was watching them. Because my sister did have a habit of just dipping off and not saying nothing to nobody. So all of that put together just made me real paranoid for my nieces. So I hope we do get to a point where I'm making enough money where my mom don't have to work no more. And, she could be the one watching my nieces, and I don't have to worry about that. So I got to get on my grind and do my thing. But anyway, these are just my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Watch your kids. Be vigilant. That's our job. Peace.